It's no secret that the best way to grow your presence right now as a creator is to master the art of short form. So today I'm going to teach you how to create the perfect looping video. I've been working to perfect this method over the last year, and it's helped me to more than double my Instagram and TikTok following in this time frame. Let's get into it. All right, so super quickly, I want to touch on why this is important. A defining characteristic of short form video is that it's autoplay, and when a video concludes, it starts over again. The thing you need to understand about short form video is that there aren't actually that many metrics that these algorithms look at to optimize, but the most important one is watch time. All of these apps want to keep you on them as long as possible. So if your video is getting higher retention, it's an indication that people like it and they'll continue to show it to more and more people who have similar interests to the people who are watching it. So what's the best way to get someone to watch your video more than once? Well, if they don't realize that it started over, now suddenly your retention is greater than 100%. Not only does this help with watch time and retention, but when it's done well, it helps with engagement metrics as well. Folks who haven't come across me before are constantly commenting on my super clean loops. And the more that I do it, the more that it becomes part of my brand. At this point, people riot in the comments when I don't do a loop. All right, enough about why you would create a loop. Let's talk about how to create a looping video. The absolute most important part of the process is the planning. Before you go into it, you need to plan out where the loop is going to occur. So for me, almost all of my videos are talking head videos like this one, meaning I need to plan out both the audio and the visual component, and both of those things need to loop. So for me, I script my short form videos, or at least the looping line of them. I put absolutely everything I do, including all of my video ideas and scripts, into Notion. This isn't sponsored or anything, although Notion, if you're watching, let's take a look at one of the videos I put together recently on color grade shot matching in Resolve. So for this, our first line is going to be copy any color grade in DaVinci Resolve. But when we're recording, we're not actually going to say that line from our script first. The first line we're going to record is, and boom, now you're able to copy any color grade in DaVinci Resolve. So throughout the rest of this video, I'm going to refer to that line that we just did as the looping line. And you'll notice that I make a little note to myself with 2 slashes to let myself know where I'm going to make the cut. And another important thing is when I recorded that line, I didn't make any pauses or stops when we're going to make that cut. I made it all sound like one continuous sentence. And then of course, we're just going to finish recording the rest of the video. All right, so now let's open your video editor of choice. Honestly, it doesn't really matter which one you use, Final Cut, Premiere, CapCut, all fine. I'm gonna use Resolve, but it's super easy to follow along regardless because we're not doing anything super fancy here. So I've just removed all the dead space from the recording first to just kind of clean things up, make it a little easier to follow here. So now let's go to our looping line and find the part where the loop is going to occur on the copy any color grade, and we'll make a cut. Now we're going to move the front part of the clip to the end and delete any space that's left over. Once we click this little button here, it's going to show a preview of that loop during playback as we play it all the way through. Boom, looking super solid. We could stop there, but we're going to take this 2 steps further. Let's undo that cut and that rearranging, and instead we're going to add a keyframe at the beginning of the clip, and then come to where we'll pause for this DaVinci Resolve portion and do a little slow transform zoom in. So we're going to add 1 keyframe at the beginning and then move to that portion of the clip, add another keyframe, and zoom in with the transform. Again, you can do this type of keyframe on any editor easily. It's always going to be a little diamond, so just look for that or keyframe or something. So now let's do that same process instead. So we'll cut at the loop, bring it to the end, and now you notice that we have some motion to make that loop even smoother. But wait, there's more. I also always add captions to my videos. So whenever we're adding captions, whatever that caption is for the very first frame of the intro, we're going to want to duplicate that and then actually add it to the final frame as well. So let's just take a 1-word frame of the word copy and then add it to the final frame before the loop. And if we watch this back, oh yeah, much more smooth. We can do this with not just talking head clips as well. So, we can do the same process with any clip. You just want to kind of plan out which clip goes first, put that clip at the beginning, and then cut it into the end. And I also want to point out that in Resolve, you're going to want to set your render in point to be the first frame, and then your render out point to be the frame before the last frame. So you're gonna wanna press down on your arrow key to get to the end of the sequence. That will take you to the very, very end, but then press left to go back one frame, and then press O to set your out point there. If you don't do this, DaVinci is actually gonna add one single black frame at the end of your export, and it's gonna ruin the whole thing. Now, I do wanna caution you that just because you make a loop, that's not gonna automatically bring you more views. You still need to make a video that's good and gets people to watch it to the end before they start watching again. And if you've made it to the end of this one, it's a sign to hit subscribe. So why don't you do that? Watch this video next, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.